You're in the driving seat, with the world's media watching and the lights flashing past. You adjust your speed, ready to face the track. But this is no ordinary track. It doesn't just stretch ahead, but way up and round, and over your head and behind you. You can watch all the watchJojo videos on your big screen TV via our dedicated Roku, FireTV, Android TV, and Apple TV apps. And when you finally tackle the daunting track, your body will be subjected to G-force even greater than astronauts encounter. So let's hope that all the grueling training pays off. Indeed, months of preparation and perspiration have built up to this moment, and that's not even taking into account the computation, the physics, perspectives, dimensions, and velocity calculations that have all been painstakingly checked and double-checked by a squad of highly knowledgeable professionals. But none of those whizzes are here to advise you as you grip the wheel and head into the loop. In a moment, you'll be more than 62 feet above the ground, driving a car upside down. And even though your vehicle will slow to a mere 15 miles per hour, it will be held up there just long enough to ensure that you can come down safely again. Or so you hope. In September 2015, this was the real-life experience of one brave man by the name of Terry Grant. Grant took part in the breathtaking stunt to help launch the new Jaguar F-Pace family sports car in Frankfurt, ahead of the opening of the German city's famous motor show. The giant Hot Wheels-esque vertical loop stood at an incredible 62.5 feet tall, making it nearly a whole 3 feet loftier than the track used to accomplish the then-current loop-the-loop world record. What's more, the Frankfurt Loop served as the zero in a pair of structures depicting the number 80 that were created to celebrate 80 years since the birth of the Jaguar brand. Looping around that track would then undoubtedly have proven a terrifying prospect for most. Grant, however, more than knows how to tackle perilous feats in a vehicle, given that the stunt driver can already lay claim to holding 22 motoring world records, among them the fastest two-wheel mile and the narrowest gap ever negotiated on two wheels of a car. And with a pedigree like that, it's little wonder that Jaguar chose the Brit to traverse the record-breaking 360-degree loop at the Iditarod racecourse. Still, Grant would have a literally tall task ahead of him if he wanted to win the world record, and he could maybe have taken a few tips from the holders of the accolade at the time, Tanner Faust and Greg Tracy. Despite their considerable combined experience as a rally driver and a Hollywood stunt driver, respectively, both men trained for a year to successfully complete a nearly 60-foot tall loop at the 2012 Los Angeles X Games. The Americans completed the same loop in tandem and smashed the 2011 record of 42.9 feet held by the Chinese Li Yitao, who had accomplished the feat in a Youngman Lotus L5 Sportback. Yitao's loop-the-loop attempt was considerably more successful than another that took place in 2012 in Haifai, China. That one went sickeningly wrong when the car used appeared to clip one side of the track and crashed nose-first into the ground, completely missing the safety net provided. Fortunately, the driver in that instance apparently survived. Back in 2009, however, an altogether less glamorous car than a Jaguar claimed the loop-the-loop world record. In an event filmed for UK television program Fifth Gear, stuntman Steve Triglia took a humble yellow Toyota Aygo through a 39-foot tall loop. This attempt also came perilously near to disaster, however. Despite the fact that some of the front and the rear of the Aygo had been shaved off in order to give it clearance to negotiate the curve, the real bumper still caught on the track and came close to causing a catastrophe. To avoid a calamity of potentially lethal proportions, therefore, Grant knew that he would need to drive with extreme precision and at the carefully calculated speed of 54 miles per hour. If Grant went faster than this, he could risk blacking out. If he traveled at a slower velocity, though, the centrifugal force of the car in the loop would not be enough to offset the gravitational force pulling the vehicle to Earth. In other words, disaster. It's a fine margin then, especially as the car is expected to go to just 15 miles per hour when it reaches the top of the loop, and the tires will just about come away from the track as the G-force drops to zero. Despite all the pressures, though, Grant is calm. After all, you don't break more than 20 motoring world records if you're the nervous type, even if the car is unfamiliar. So it starts, Grant enters the loop at 54 miles per hour, guiding the vehicle perfectly into its arc. The car then slows to a mere 15 miles per hour when it reaches the fully inverted stage, yet the stunt driver doesn't falter. In spite of some 6.5 G acting on his body, he accelerates back down the loop, keeping the car in a perfect straight line. As the fireworks erupt, he's done it. The record is smashed. Grant leaps on top of the car to celebrate an incredible achievement, the culmination of pure physics, precise motoring, engineering, and steely determination. Driving the world's largest loop was a very proud moment in my career, Grant said after completing his triumphant task. But wasn't he nervous about attempting such a daunting feat? "If I go into panic mode, then we're all in trouble," was his modest answer. One thing's for sure then, it's gonna take something, and someone very special indeed, to better this astonishing record-breaking loop-the-loop.